Hello everybody, I'm just doing this discussion video on this polar lights build I've been working on and pretty much 98% finished. Uh, the model kit itself is fantastic. Like, you can pretty much not use glue on a lot of parts, like for example sorry about that, the bridge part. You can remove this to access the wiring down below. Now, when I was masking the BC desk, I forgot to put tape on the window, so luckily I didn't glue it down, so I just lifted up the BC deck, removed the windows, scraped them down, and put them back in, and it actually looks pretty good. Look, see, there's no flashing or anything left over. So I want to tell you about a few things I had problems with, and a lot of them stem from this kit right here. Sorry about the shadow from the nacelle. The lighting kit from Polar Lights. Now, it's worth buying just for the colored parts and the clear parts for the shuttle bay and the clear bridge. But if you're looking for lighting, the bussard collectors with the noisy motors, which I had a bitch of a time with. The motors itself weren't the problem. It was these goddamn things. One of them burnt out. That stemmed from shoddy welding on the back, so I had to re-weld it. Both of them, actually. I had to re-weld both of them because it came off there and there. You see it. And I think maybe when I was testing the power on the other one, I think I might have fried it. Like I must have touched a wire or something. And so I made a substitute, which was this unit here that I bought on eBay, which is, it's like a UFO chaser, UFO LED beacon from Bulgaria, I believe it is. But they're really cool because you can change the speed if I can get, I don't want to take the domes off right now because I've just glued these bottom struts in. But you can program the light flashing and the speed of the flashing. So these, you see how it rotates? You can change the rotation of that, make it as slow as you want or as fast as you want. And there's all different kinds of settings, like flashing, rotating in either direction, a test pattern, and all that. So if you're in a bind, I'll put the link in the description for that part. I mean, it didn't take too long to come. I mean, it took 2.5 weeks from Bulgaria to here. So that was great. And the other thing I'm having a lot of problems with is this bridge. I mean, I'm trying to get the things to light up, but it's not working. I mean, I got these transparencies that you'll see in the video, the previous video that I've done. It's cool. It's like a piece of film, negative. You can just cut them out and lay them over top, but it didn't work. I mean, there's not enough light to push through. And so I'm probably gonna, like, it's hot glued in place right now, so all you have to do is, if you're working on it, just get some alcohol, soak the part, and the hot glue basically disintegrates, and you can take it out. I've done it 3 times, so you can take that out, which is good. I've done that to a lot of parts. Like this part back here isn't glued in, and I took the decals from the sheet and put those little vents in there, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, if you look at it, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not flush. I used microsol, and maybe I'll just give it a couple of more coats and it'll sink right in there. And another thing, like everybody's been having problems with this darn kit, is the deck. Mine looks pretty good, but what I had to do is, because of that seam, I had to rip out all of the lights on the sides and the back, and all I'm left with was the top light. That's it. And it's still, like, it's almost perfect. Like, I got the seam down to like maybe 0.5 millimeter, which was cool. But if I was going to do this again, I would use SMDs, the flat ones. Like Boyd over at Chuckworks, he's been working on 40 or 50 of these things, and he's got it down to a science now. So yeah, mine looks pretty good. I had problems with the shuttle. I mean, you can see it's kind of wanky. I mean, I put the nacelles on backwards first, and I ripped them off and put them on forwards, so that's what happened there. So the build itself was great. I mean, I had a couple of problems with paint. I mean, if you could see here, when I put the clear coat on, I obviously put too much paint on this section, and the paint started to bite. So it happened here by the seam on the back of the hangar bay. So I had to sand all that down and start over. And it happened underneath here. I got most of it down. There's still a little bit near the back. But that is, if you're working with acrylics and clear coating and all that stuff, make sure you don't put any excessive amounts of paint. Like go over it, wet sand it. Like I wet sanded this complete top saucer, and it worked out great. Like I primed it, I sanded it down with 600, I painted over it a couple of coats of my hull color. I wet sanded that down all again about 3 times, and then I put the final 4 coats of acrylic on there. Or not, yeah, acrylic, water-based. And you're going to have to do that, I think, to get the result, because when I first started, I was using my airbrush, and geez, it looked like shit. I mean, it was all spotty, and it looked really flat and garbagey, but just keep applying coats. Just as many coats as it takes to smooth that out. And I put the clear coat on top of it, this matte clear coat from Duplicolor, and it worked pretty good. So, yeah. So just when you're making yours, just make sure the final step, don't rush it. I mean, the best part of working with water-based paints is if you make a mistake, you can rub it off. Start all over again. So that's what I had to do. The decals, as much as people have bitched about the kit decals, they were pretty good. I mean, this one, it fucked up here. I mean, I was stupid. I rushed it. I used microcell when putting it down, and it separated right there. But everything else looks good. I mean, you can see it. The back one, good. The seam one, good. These ones on the side, you can barely see it because of the... I went a bit dark on the hull color. I think it looks pretty good, though. But you can see it. I mean, it's good. I mean, these decals are great. They didn't split. You could lay them down. These decals were awesome. Nothing happened. I mean, they went on smooth as silk. Yeah, so, and then the bottom ones were fine. So what I did here with these beacon lights, when I first started building it, I got the kit and I put red and green lights on the bottom. And then I went back and I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. And I'd already sealed the saucer. So what I did is I just took my Dremel tool, drilled it out, and then thankfully, because I bought this kit, they have like the clear section from the model kit, like these things. There were 2 extra ones of these that were clear. So I just drilled it out and glued them on. So yeah, sorry, I got a phone call there on the screen. Yeah, so the model kit it's almost done. These domes, I'm going back and forth on what color I should make them. I mean, it looks almost good now. I think it looks too much goldy here. I might scrub it down again and start over and make it more orangey. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me right now. Maybe I'll leave it. And yeah, so the kit itself is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, the thing fits together so well. It's one of the best model kits I've ever seen as far as fit and finish. So yeah, let's do a little spin aroundsy here. Oops, sorry, this is not centered. Yeah, so I just finished gluing everything together that's going to be glued. I mean, these domes I could pull out to work on the boards. This one here as well. I can just remove them. I shaved down these grooves that connect here, so I can just yank it out. And then this last part here, this base. I just went to the dollar store and got some car LED lights. And around the base, I think it looks cool. What do you think? You can turn it off, turn it on, change the colors. Red alert. You can make it flash like this. This is a cool one. I mean, that looks pretty good, eh? So yeah, I was going to use a speed controller for the motors, and you know what? It's just once I assembled the model, there's no going back. Like, I've assembled the secondary hull, it's glued together, and the pylons are glued in, so I can't run the third wire for the speed control for the motor to the base. So maybe if I build another one of these, I'll do that with the speed controller. And there's something about my last video. So this was my first attempt at building something this advanced. I mean, I think it looks pretty good for my first shot. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I would love to answer them for you. But, there's a lot better videos out there than mine that explain how to do this, especially TrekWorks. I mean, I've learned a lot from watching his, like, especially with the painting aspect, like using cheap craft paints. I would have never thought of that. So thank you to Boyd at TrekWorks for pointing that little thing out. I mean, I bought an airbrush and a compressor, and geez, I'm a real pro at it now, and I've never used an airbrush before that. So yeah, I think I'll maybe tackle the refit model in my next build if there is one. Only thing with that is it's probably 2 steps up on the advanced scale level of this one, with all the additional parts and the cutaways to the arboretum and the officer's lounge and recreational area and stuff like that. So we'll see. I might tackle that, if COVID goes on any longer, quarantine, whatever. There's not much else to do. Everything's shut down, for fuck's sake. So anyways, thank you for watching my enterprise model build. I will start doing some more drone videos in the spring. I've got my license now, my full license, so I can fly in town, in the city, won't get hassled by the man. So anyways, yeah, so look forward to those videos. I'll be doing some lake videos, maybe some historical sites around my hometown here, around Ontario. So anyways, thanks for watching my video. See you later. Adios. Bye.